Hi, Jeff Bridgman here, coming at you from behind the scenes. So this is a wonderful black painted barrel shaped butcher block that I bought recently on a trip to Illinois at the Illinois shows. And it's made of a really hard wood of some sort. Maple usually is what they made butcher blocks out of. It could be cherry. Has sort of a reddish undertone, plus it has a red wash, so that's kind of deceiving. So I'm sitting there writing the description for it, and I said, I really better have a better look at the wood and see what it's made of. So I came over here to the shop and to the photo studio where it was still sitting, and I crawled underneath it and looked up, and what did I see? It's got writing all over the bottom of it. Now, it's supposed to be out of Missouri and of a type that has been seen before. So whoever made this, they didn't make one. And that's kind of obvious anyway because of how beautifully the legs are turned and the beautiful shape. This wasn't this guy's first go around, and he evidently made these with some regularity because they've been seen before. I don't know if they're all have this wonderful black paint like this one, but that was the word on the street from the picker / dealer from whom I bought this. So I was really shocked, as you can imagine, when I crawled underneath and saw the writing that might lead us to some sort of answer as to where it really came from. I wiped off a little bit of it, and I said, what a great chance to do a video and share something fun that you wouldn't typically see. Now, butcher block's about the heaviest darn thing on the planet. This thing probably weighs a good 300 pounds. So you gotta use leverage as your friend. Moving anything like this. Today, while my specialty is, as many of you know, antique American flags, and where I spend most of my time today, paint decorated American furniture was my first love. Don't tell any of my flag people. I used to do shows and take 50 pieces to a show, and that was my life for many, many years, and I still buy it because I love it. So here we go. You can see on the bottom, I've started to wipe off some of this, and I have no idea what it says yet. I can see a couple of letters and that's it, but there is a lot on here. I may or may not be able to find out exactly everything it says, but I think it's possible. So I can see there's a few letters, something of Chase, CARLUAH maybe, and then Elvia or something, ELU. A little bit of work to do to get through and decipher this. So I'll be back to you when I've figured it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello again. Well, cleaning complete and research complete. So you saw me a little bit earlier, struggling a little bit with the lettering, trying to put it into words. And I've got to tell you, I was worried for a minute because I thought, is this a European piece being sold as American? And others were known that had been seen because they were being imported and by the truckload or something. I mean, it was obviously old, and I didn't think that was the case. Also, the butcher block has that sort of Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, even Indiana kind of feel to it, Ohio. It has sort of that really, I'd push towards Tennessee and somewhere in that general region. What I found, however, that It was Missouri, about an hour south of St. Louis. So let me bring you in here to where you can see some of the lettering. It's really hard to decipher even when you have good light. We used various filters on the camera to try to help us out a little bit. So it says here, Order of H.L. Hussman, Elvin, Missouri. And then here, Carl Lupke, Elvin, Missouri. There's another word up here that I just can't decipher. It looks almost like it says Katie, but then there's another Y, or that might be an M at the beginning, but none of that made sense to me. There's even a little CO here under Hussman. Now, Hussman, Henry L. Hussman, was a butcher supply shop guy. He opened his business in St. Louis in 1906. And he made knives, he made refrigeration units, and various things. And in 1917, that's during World War I, became famous because he patented the first store counter that was also refrigerated and could display meats cut in a butcher shop like we see them today. Before that, you couldn't go in and select your cut of meat by looking through a window like we do in modern times. So he became rich from that, but you can bet that the grocery business is one where you make your money by selling a lot of it, and your margin is small, and costs are really important. So I am sure that he would buy the contents of butcher shops, of all kinds, any kind of grocer. And so that's, I'm sure, how he ended up with this butcher block of the mid-19th century. And probably, we're here 1860, 70, plus or minus. Now, it's possible that he was making butcher blocks in an old style at the turn of the century, but it seems unlikely. I mean, this is a 25-inch log of probably cherry, and that just wasn't really available by that time. And the style and everything is earlier, and the patina even, though it would get hard use in a butcher shop for sure. But it just has that mid-19th century feel as opposed to late. Now, the other gentleman, Carl Lupke, he was born in Elvins. His parents were founders of the town, which wasn't founded until the right around 1890 and incorporated in 1897. And he was born around 1896. He was a deacon in the Baptist church from the 1920s to the 1980s, 63 years. So he really didn't die that long ago. In the 1940s, he opened up a grocery store in Elvins, which he operated for a long time. I'm sure he bought this right around that time. So somehow it passed through his hands, through Hussman's hands. Elvins was a lead mining town. It had two railroads that passed through it, very near the Mississippi. And, this is just a wonderful piece of Missouri history. And a tremendous piece of paint decorated furniture too. This has a red painted wash, as I said, heavy one, underneath it. And the black is sort of translucent, so that shows through, 25 inches around, lathe turned, and just a wonderful thing for your kitchen. Thanks for watching.